Hi, I'm Mrs. H. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use my Janome 6600 to make personalised tags. I use them to keep track of what's in each dust bag for my samples, but you could use them to make gift tags for birthdays and Christmas. To make your tags you'll need 2 pieces of medium weight interfacing cut 6 inches by 3 inches. You'll need to fuse one to a piece of plain fabric that you want to do your embroidery on and one to your backing fabric. I've used the selve edges from my sample bags so that I can easily see at a glance what's inside my dust bag. You'll also need a piece of ribbon 11 inches long. I've cut the edges and then sealed them with a small flame. To program the machine, we'll be using this button here, which sets your text. If you press it once, you go onto the block lettering. The second time, it will take you to block lettering with accents. Third time is italics, and fourth time is italics with accents. I'll be using the block lettering today. On your stitch board, you'll be able to see which letter corresponds to which number. So once you're in this mode, press the number that correlates to your letter. So for my first one, I'm going to do an H, a capital H, which is 1, 8, and then press the M to put it into the memory. If you want to do 2 letters in a row exactly the same, press the M button again and it will add it again. You can do that as many times as you like. If you want to delete a letter, press the C button for just the once. If you want to delete the whole sequence, press and hold the C button. So I still want my capital H, so I'll type in 18 and then M. Next I want a small O, so I'll type in 51 and the M again. Next is the B, so 38 M and another O, 51 M. When you finish your sequence, you can choose to either cut the threads or sew a locking stitch. I prefer to sew a locking stitch. When you're ready to sew, insert the fabric into the machine. To get a nice distance from the previous row of stitching, I'm lining up the clear section on my AccuFeed foot with the bottom of the previous stitching. And with the threads pulled out to the back, I press the button to insert the needle into the fabric. Now I like to do this without the foot pedal, so I take that out of the machine so that it knows not to use it. Now once you're ready to go, just press the start button and ensure that you're holding the fabric to keep it going in a straight line. Because I put a locking stitch into my memory sequence, it's sewn a locking stitch at the end, and that's how I know we're finished. So lift the needle and remove your fabric. You can now trim the thread between the letters with just a small pair of snips. Here's one I made earlier. So I've trimmed all of the threads and this is ready to sew together. On my backing fabric, I've basted the ribbon within the seam allowance. If you've got double-sided ribbon, I like to have the right side of the ribbon facing the right side of the backing fabric. Once that's sewn, you can add the embroidered label onto the top. You're going to sew around all 4 edges, leaving a turning gap on one side. To ensure I get a really neat turning gap, I've basted along the turning gap, steamed the stitches and then removed them. I've also trimmed each corner to remove as much bulk as possible. Once you've done this, it's time to turn the tag through and give it a really good press. Here's a tag that's nearly finished. So I've sewn it together, I've trimmed the corners, I've turned it through and I've given it a really good press. I've turned the seam allowances under on my turning gap and pressed those as well. All that's left to do is top stitch around the entire edge just to seal that turning gap. Thank you for watching my video tutorial on how to use the Janome 6600 to make personalised tags for your dust bags or gift tags for birthday and Christmas. If you'd like to find out more about my sewing patterns, you can find them at www.mrs-h.com.